Why? We're live. Morning thoughts, morning thoughts, morning thoughts. Shout out to the people going out to work this morning. Shout out to the people coming in from work this morning. Extra special, big up, shout out to the people who work multiple jobs. I have the utmost respect for you. Shout out to my entrepreneurs, my stay at home moms and pops, my retirees. Shout out to the drivers, Uber driver, Lyft driver, truck driver, taxi driver, food delivery drivers, around town and long distance truck drivers. Shout out to every single clean hearted, good hearted person who wants good for others as much as you want good for yourself. One of those kind of morning fam, morning Miss Ruby, evening Mass Clevey, manners and respect. Yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about this morning, and we only have one topic. And that one topic is if you've been keeping up with, first of all, I'm going to big up a couple of people like we normally do. Where is my manners? Let me say good morning. We have a lot to be thankful for. I hope you wake up on the right side of the bed this morning, and I hope things are moving in your favor. If not, just remember to uplift your spirit and keep a positive vibration throughout the day. Saying, with that said, let's move forward because there's a lot to unpack here, a whole lot to unpack here. Let's say, listen now, if you've been keeping up, right? If you've been keeping up with the Andre Mcdonald trial, the Beachy Stout Son trial, for those of you, some people, if y'all hear me repeating this, please understand that what you know already and you think that everybody else knows, and so you go. So we have to keep on put people back on target so they understand what it is we're talking about. Kami, I hate to talk. 30 minutes into the talk, me here. Okay, so far I'm lost. I don't know what you're talking about. Work did have me away for the last couple of months. I miss out on everything. You can't hear me. Who cannot hear me? Abuse Insight with Dalian Salmon says, I can't. Oh, you said I can't wait to hear. All right. So this is Andre McDonald. This is the son of Beachy Stout, the wealthy businessman. I know, but I think Beachy don't have all heap of money. Beachy got millions and millions of US dollars in accounts, different accounts in Jamaica. Them just stifling off one of his accounts. Two young individuals, two chopper, got caught thieving out his money, and they thief out a whole heap of money out of one of his many accounts, as it was put in the news, right? Him daddy have money, him daddy own properties, lands, and these kinds of things, and well influential in Jamaica. However, he himself in the US is somebody who you could say has made it or was living a life of a good life, a good life. He got himself to a good place in life. You know, he's a high ranking individual within the US military. This is the son of Beachy, but you know, all comes falling down when father and son. The irony of all this is father and son are both charged with the same thing. Both of them are charged with their wife, right? His dad, though, is charged now with his first wife and his second wife. See, so he's sitting in lockup awaiting trial, and his dad trial starts in September. His son trial is now in the US. One in Jamaica, that's daddy. One in the US, that's the son. The son trial is what we're going to talk about. This is the moment we've been waiting for. I didn't know it was going to come this quick. I'm sitting there watching Andrine's father testify yesterday, and then boom, they call Andre to the stand next. A million things went through my mind listening to. They gave us no warning. They gave us no warning. I come out at the dollar store, I pre my phone, and I was like, what? What? He's understand. He is understand testifying. His testimony was riveting, to say the least. Of course, more information come out now than what was out before. I got 399 people in here and 68 thumbs up. I don't like that. And then, you know, I'm not the type to really focus on that. But at the end of the live yesterday, YouTube ranked that live a 2 out of 10. And they ranked it a 2 out of 10 because they look at interaction, right? They look at how many people are willing to actually hit the thumbs up button and say, "Oh, I like this content. I'm sitting here watching it. I'm engaging the content." When YouTube look at these things, it affects your algorithm. So they're like, He was on for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Nobody really was engaged in the content. They didn't even take the time to hit the thumbs up button. It is that important. Even though I've said, I feel like asking the same people every single day, hit the thumbs up button, please, hit the thumbs up button, please. I just feel like my people just need you to beg them every day or something like that. Sure, I'm not a kind of beggy kind of person, you know. Maybe it's a fault of mine, but I'm the kind of person that will dead for water and thirst. If you sitting next to me with a gallon of water and I don't know you, I now beg you a drink or some stay. So when I say hit the thumbs up button, please, it's because I come here, I give you this content. You, those who are subscribed and who go further and actually have membership, I appreciate you to the fullest. I'm just asking you to just hit that thumbs up button so it trends with the algorithm. So I said the video them the good on YouTube and all these other kind of things. All right. Yesterday I was very disappointed when the live was done and it says it was rated at a 2. If I look at you or you look at me, you say, SouFlo, come here, look for my wife. Ota, rate her 1 to 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. If I said 2, you would be offended. Rate me on a scale of 1 to 10, my looks and everything, and you dress up bush and ready to go out, and I say a 2, you would be offended. So I'm highly offended that this live ended yesterday with a 2. All the work me put in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 pages of notes. Me sit down and take to bring come give you. And see it there? 448 people in here, 200 likes. All right. Some people are going to hear me say that and them still not going to like it. Like somebody tie up your hand. But that's how you and your conscience, my friend. Anyhow, watch me. Let's go right into the story. I do what I do because I love what I do. So ain't no harm in it. You don't have to pay me. Watch me. I was like flabbergasted. He took the stand, but I'm not going to start out with his testimony this morning, by the way. We don't know, so me take the long route all the time, right? I have all the other people who testified before him leading right up to his testimony. And that's how I'm going to do it, because you have to understand what is going on in order to be able to understand the whole big picture. See? All right. For y'all who don't know it, go watch the rest of the video them. We've been following this closely all week. We've been following it since last week. We were there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Day 5, day 6 was yesterday. We were there again and we share the link and people come over and then watch it and all these things. All right. Some ginger tea in my cup this morning. Let me sit in and let's get into this thing here. Let me big up some people first. The loyal people them who go out of their way. Family. Shout out to Seymour for being here this morning. Asserin Odetta. Misa is in the building this morning. Reggae Girl Bento is here. Prelis 123. Juno Bryan, big up yourself. Sharon Ingram Brickhouse, thank you for being here. Thank you, Banches, for being here. Donna Davis is in the building. Senior Sexy, Audrey Wright. Senior Sexy is here. Audrey Wright says, morning, fam, and present teacher. Big up yourself, Audrey Wright, and thank you for being here, family. Janet Stewart's here. Lady J, big up yourself. Nikki B, big up yourself. Mr. Article Don, morning, fam. Marilyn Grant, big up yourself. Thank you for being here. Marcia Walters, Denzel Gale, BM, Main One. Jane Ander is in the building this morning. Debbie Jervis already said Denzel Gale, I think. Wayne Nathan, Virtuous Fire is in the building. Sharon Spence, King Biggs, morning, my brethren. Crystal G is in the building. Unstoppable Josh is here. Darling Walter Riley is here. Abuse Insight with Dalian Salmon says, good morning, SouFlo. Checking in from London. Present, sir. And we are glad to have you here, my family. Thank you. Bramwell Wright, my sister in the building. Nikita Jones is here. Karen Notice is in the building. Thank you for being here this morning. T95 South is in the building. Julie Tapper is here. Nikita Jones, Dorothy T, Ricky Reed. All right, the names are starting to repeat themselves, so I'm not going to go over those anymore. I didn't see one particular name that I'm looking for this morning. Lil Red Gucci 2, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Karen Notice, again, I appreciate you. And Dorothy T, thank you. And after I hit like, it shows 8 and never moves from that number. It shows on my side, though. We're 503 people in this morning and 258 likes so far. Right? So half of the people that are viewing have hit the like button. The other half just don't want to hit the like button for some reason. Oh, it's all good though. Dr. Harold King. Let's start off with all the testimonies. Here we go. Pay attention. All right. Kai Tai Jai Empress, there you are. Big up yourself and thank you for being here, sister. All right. So Dr. Harold Gil King testifies. I don't know if y'all noticed if you were paying attention, but for those of you who didn't watch it, they brought in an anthropologist to testify to bolster their case. The state did to bolster their case. His professionalism, his 40 plus years of expertise. He sat up there and testified. Watch what happened at the end of his testimony. So he testified cause of death is homicidal violence because they asked him, what would you determine the cause of death to be? He said homicidal violence. Blunt force injury cannot be excluded or included as case of death. In other words, they ain't really sure which one or how she died, if it was blunt force trauma, if it was a stab up, if it was strangulation, but they know that it was homicidal violence that killed her. Evidence says that the body was burnt after death, but not long after. Also, the doctor testified. This doctor is also a professor that recently retired, and he was that for over 40 something years at a university, a prestigious university out of Texas. He testified that the body was burnt, but the body was not burnt long after death occurred. Fractures occurred at time of death or slightly before. He testified that also. All the breaks in the bones that they found and all that, he said those fractures occurred at the time of death or slightly before death, but not after. That would hurt Andre's case, because if he is saying, I didn't beat her up, right? It was after. Wait till y'all hear his testimony. And it's gonna clarify all this. But this, what the doctor said, goes against what he is saying. Anyhow, this old retired professor held his own as much as Andre's lawyers tried to discredit his 40 plus years of expertise. He said that there was no scale and direction indicators, no scale to direction. First rule that was violated for collecting evidence and taking pictures at crime scenes. He said that first rule was violated when they were collecting the evidence for this particular case. There's no way that you should have collected this and no scale to direction was there. It should be there. This is what would tell you how far of a distance apart certain things are from certain things. And so it gives you a visual and clear map out of how things were found and all that other stuff. None of that was here. He said that's the first thing he noticed while he was looking over all the evidence. No scale to direction. First rule violated for collecting evidence at a crime scene, taking pictures. That's a big no-no, is what he said. That's a big no-no. All right. He retired 4 months ago after 40 plus years in his field. He is well versed. He is an older gentleman, but he is very alert and he is highly intelligent and knowledgeable in what he did or does. There is nothing about the transportation of the body into that. See, Andre's lawyer is trying to make it seem like, how did she get these broken bones? Her ribs broke up, her whole spinal cord is broken in so many places. How did she get these whole broke up? And they're trying to make it seem as if, well, maybe in the process of him transferring the body hit something and something breaks something. The doctor clearly said that he's more than an expert at this. The doctor clearly said there is nothing about the transportation of that body into that scene, the final resting place, that had anything to do with the injuries of that skeleton. In other words, all those injuries, them broke up bone and stuff, it happened in a altercation that caused that death before the body was transferred to where it was transferred to. Of course, that now help him case again. Either he asked, why was that particular rib? Because Andre's lawyer is like, oh, but wouldn't you say that that rib could have caught on something or got hit with something, possibly even a kick or whatever? He said, no, that was a concentrated hit from like the ball part of a hammer, consistent with that kind of direct concentrated blow. And he said to the lawyers, he said, okay, answer me this. Why was that particular rib broken when there were more delicate ribs that were adjacent to that particular rib? They couldn't answer. At this point, Andre's lawyers get up and says, stop, don't want to talk to the doctor here no more. Him not help my case. So here what? Your Honor, we object. We object to this doctor, this professor's testimony. We feel that under Rule 702, and I can go look up what Rule 702 is, stating basically that they did not consider him to be credible and, and to be scientifically credible, the methods that he uses. His background is in anthropology, and that has nothing to do with the case because that's a study of bones, but not a study of that's a study of old skeletons and not a study of whatever. They're not satisfied with his testimony and they call him inconsistent. The state got up and the state does a rebuttal. The state says there's a difference between a forensic anthropologist and a forensic pathologist. They name the difference and they tell why this doctor was hired for his knowledge, his extensive knowledge in forensic anthropology. And Andre's lawyers were trying to get this one thrown out. They explained to the judge, Your Honor, he comes with a wealth of information, but it's all mumble jumbled up and it has a whole bunch of information in it that we really don't need because it's not zeroing in on what's going on here. So this might confuse the jury with all this wealth of information, this overload of educational stuff, and we don't think that this is beneficial. Matter of fact, this could be prejudicial towards our client and proving our point. The judge says, okay, we will exclude his testimony from the trial. So all that time y'all seen that doctor up there, the first one with the gray hair, tall man that came in and testified extensively, the anthropologist, all that got thrown out at the end. All of it. New person takes the stand. First, when the judge says, okay, his testimony will be excluded from this trial. I said, wow, that's a win for them. He went and testified all that and they wiped it out. All right. New person steps on the stand. Investigator Coburn, Electronic Task Force with U.S. Secret Service Digital Forensic Specialist. All right. He was the one who extracted information from Andre's phone. I'm mumbo jumbo with this part, but bear with me because we're going to get in. This leads up to Andre's testimony. All right. He was the one who extracted info from Andre's phone. This is the guy that is from the Secret Service. So July 13th of 2019 is when they took the phone from Andre. Text messages reveal a back and forth conversation, messaging, and 3 images stored on the phone. At this point, I'm watching with everybody else and I'm glancing at the comment section and I see people going off. And you know, my Jamaican people, we don't really pay attention to detail. We want to be in the conversation in the comment section. So they weren't paying attention. All I see over there is, yes, them find stuff on him phone. That means him did a cheat too. He was hiding stuff from her too. And I'm like, where are they getting this narrative from? First of all, I want to see what the 3 images are. All right. Him and Morales were the 2 that were talking. If y'all remember, when his commander came, his commander said he brought Morales back with him because he is a major too, just like Andre, right? And he is above him in rank. So they never really fraternized like that. but they're more closer in rank or whatever. So, okay, him and Morales, this was between Andre and Morales that were communicating back and forth through text. Then asked to check his talk about mowing the lawn, maintenance. Okay, so one of the text messages came in, and it was basically somebody asking. It was the maintenance guy, and the maintenance guy, because Andre says he doesn't cut his grass again by himself anymore. He has somebody that maintains the grounds of the businesses. You know, prune up the grass, cut the grass, and trim flowers and these things, clean up the property, and that person also actually does that for their home as well. So that person was text him first and asked if he can come by and get his check and all this other stuff. And what about coming over to do that property, you know, do the yard and stuff like that. So the photos pulled up from his device were not cheating photos. They ran through this man's whole phone again, and they took out only these. They didn't find anything that said he had a side chick. Him did have a little thing where him did a text message, send me some pum pum picture, me I send you some dick picture, and none of that. That's what was feeding in the comment section. Also, this is an open marriage. I remember looking over there and seeing somebody say, "Oh, so it's an open marriage, cause him a cheat, she a cheat." That man wasn't cheating, or they didn't find any evidence on his phone that suggested he was cheating. What they found were 3 pictures, one of him looking like this, one of him looking like this, and one of him looking like this. That's it. And that are the 3 images them find on him phone. Just him, right? Do you think, the next text message says, do you think having Andreen on the website is a good idea? Now, you got to remember and keep things in context. This is January, February, March, April, May. This is May 11th of 2019 at 1:38 p.m. Remember, she's missing already, and she's been missing for a time now. So who is asking, do you think it's a good idea having her on the website? He replies back to the person, good question. Might need to scrub that. What's your initial thoughts? In the army, when we say scrub that, or in the military, when we say scrub that, it means wipe off everything, do over the whole thing, right? Might need to scrub that. The person asks, do you think it's wise to have her on the website? He says, good question, might need to scrub that. Okay, it needs to be done ASAP. I'll email James. And then he says, I thought it was done already. I just checked and I saw it. The caller says, we only changed the phone number and you will have to revisit the site. Break down what that was for you. That wasn't a cheating conversation between him and somebody else that he was cheating with. This is obviously the person who manages the website for the companies. And a matter of fact, they had 3 of them, and they were putting up a 4th business, seeing these assisted living facilities. So this is the person who manages their website. You got to understand, she's missing, right? And they're asking, you think it's a wise idea to keep her face on the business website? And he said, I got to think about that. We might have to scrub that. See? So he's still making business decisions concerning the business in the light of her being missing. July 12, 2019, 8:55 a.m. Sharon. That's what the name says on his phone. The person whose name is Sharon says, Gene just sent me a news clip that they found a body on Speck Road. And Salazar is saying that it is Andreen. I think Salazar is the police chief. Salazar is saying that it is Andreen that they found. His reply was, okay. Person texts back from the Sharon phone and says, the business line is now getting calls from 911 area code. I am not answering it. News showing up here. And then shortly after, they said the news people are showing up here. Andre goes on to say, do you want food, pizza, or wings? What do you want for dinner? Now, that's going to come across callous, but hear this. When they said they found body over on Speck Road, he already knew. Ain't no way her body is going to make it to Speck Road, because her body is way out in Woy Woy. See? So when they said, oh, they said they found her body, but check it. It was not her body. It was proven to be the body of another lady that they found out there. So it's like he already knew. But I must admit, if they said, yo, they found a body out there and they're saying that it's Andreen, the way he said, okay, and then went off with, so what you want for dinner? It was like, God damn. No little kind of emotions or nothing, like, what? Seriously? Really? Nothing. All right. I'm not trying to explain away why he is like that, but we'll get into all the psychological makeup of that later on. Outgoing message now says, if you are still at the phone, get me a Thai tea. It's a Thai like Thailand tea. Thanks. That's 809. No mention of, did you hear anything else about the body? Nothing. Just, if you're still at the phone, get me a Thai tea. And the reply was, what flavor? I'm with Gene. Outgoing says, regular, like regular Thai tea. Thanks. Outgoing message again says, this is his phone. Outgoing messages says again, Serena lose. I guess Serena Williams was playing a game and they were watching it. No, man, you know them just tell the man said them fine body, and it's Andreen, and Salazar is saying it's Andreen, and he goes off to what you want for dinner, and then the next thing is Serena lose. Like, I've been watching this game with Serena Williams playing, she lost. That was July 13, 2019, 8:52 a.m. Outgoing message again. 6262 complete destruction. 6262 complete destruction. July 13th, same day. This is 906. The first one, Serena lose 8:52. 906, 6262 complete destruction. Incoming says, I know, butt whipping. They're discussing a game that Serena Williams had played and lost. Not cheating. July 13th, same. Now this is 9:46 is when I know, butt whipping. The person texts back to him. Don't know the reason of this email exchange. I don't know why they pulled this up, because it did. Maybe the state was trying to show how nonchalant, how callous he was towards, oh man, your wife's been missing. They found her. Or there's a possibility that could be her. And there was no emotions of, oh my God, are you serious? Yo, let me go make some phone calls and see if it was or whatever, right? It was just, what do you want for dinner? You want wings or you want pizza? You know? So they were trying to paint that picture. So I wrote on the paper here, I don't know the reason for this email exchange, but his Google search, 393 times search, 897 items. I tell you, already, I gotta tell you again, if you're a cheater, all it takes is one bad event, and most of you are from the Caribbean, like Jamaican people. Jamaica seem to have a problem with accessing these kind of info. I don't know why, but in the US they have no problem, and they're gonna get to it, right? And every little thing that you do, yeah, it's gonna come right back. All it takes is one bad event, and they feel like they have the need to go get that info, and they're gonna pull everything back up. The one time they send the little pum pum pick, then you change your mind and say, no, I really don't want to cheat for my husband, I'm gonna stop. It's gonna come back up. That one time you send the little nudie pics, them my youth, and say, oh, I'm not gonna cheat for my wife no more, I'm gonna stop. It's gonna come back up. Whatever you did on that phone, whatever you did is out there in the clouds. And don't bother think you erase, or if you change phone, they could still go grab it. They'll go, okay, so what was the phone that he had back in so-and-so? Oh, he got rid of that one. Okay, all they need to know is what the number was for that phone. And they're grabbing all the info from that. So anyhow, bear with me, because this one is long. Don't know the reason for the email, but I do know. They were trying to show how callous he was. Here are some of his searches. Bexar County speedy trial. Remember, I know she missing at this time. He's trying to figure out how to get a speedy trial. Bexar County speedy trial, proving tampering with evidence. Conviction rate for cases charged after first year. Percentage of trials that end in conviction. Light to show blood. Importance of autopsy in criminal investigation. These are all the things he's searching for. Determining cause of death from skeletal remains. They found her skeletal remains. This is exactly how they're trying to determine her cause of death. And all they can say is homicidal violence. They can't say, did she get stabbed in her neck, bust her carotid artery? Did she get stabbed in her thigh? Did she get, they don't know. Was she strangled to death? They don't know. He's looking these up. Determining cause of death from skeletal remains. How difficult would that be? Proving murder beyond reasonable doubt. FBI investigations. Forensics only conviction rate. Murder without weapon found. And this is the same time, January, February, March, April, May. This is May 21st. These searches were done May 21st to the 24th of 2019. The list goes on. Bloodstain and the environment. Bloodstains and sunlight. Effects of the sun on DNA. Can you recover blood samples after 1 year? Next one. What happens when death is declared undetermined? Undetermined death investigation. How to determine location of death. How to determine location where death occurred. Body found 1 year later. And then he looks up Andreen Mcdonald. See if there's any investigation going on where information might have passed him that was put out to the public, and what the public is saying and what law enforcement is saying to the public. He's staying abreast with the case. Then he types in cold cases. Then he types in how fire affects DNA. Remember, I'm set up on fire. Then he types in illuminate lights, blood evidence. You know, the light to find blood. Illuminate light, blood evidence. He types in. Spray luminol for detecting blood. Then he types in San Antonio high-profile cases. His case was certainly a high-profile case. He is a major in the U.S. Air Force that has been accused of killing his wife and was locked up and then got released. He got locked up for tampering with evidence first, and then he got released on that, right? All right. San Antonio high-profile cases. He looks up what happens if autopsy can't determine cause of death. You know what all this shows me? He was bent on making sure that they weren't able to figure out exactly how she died. Because then he could tell any story. How to determine cause of death from skeletal remains. Ways to identify skeletal remains. FBI, San Antonio. Vulcan Material Company. They asked him in cross-examination, the state asked him, why did you type in Vulcan Material Company? He said, when I went to go drop her body off out there, there was a sign on the post that says Vulcan Material Company. So I just Googled it just to see, out of curiosity, like what that company was about or whatever, right? February 28th is when Andreen was last seen. She was reported last seen February 28th of 2019. These are being done. Let me see. May is when the searches on the internet are being done. So we're well into her being missing for quite some time now. Her remains were found on a 50-acre property on July 11th of 2019. She was missing from February. They didn't find her till July. Also didn't know that Andre was quite a bit older than Andreen. I thought they were like closer in age, but it's not that far, but it's still, adds to the case because this is going to get deeper. So at the time, Andre was 40 years old, 40, and Andreen had just turned 29, right? All right. He had just turned 42. He had just turned 40. She threw him a 40th birthday party. We're going to get into all that. Google history and web browser. He kept on typing stuff. Can someone break their fall? Can someone fall and break their neck? Can someone survive falling and breaking their neck? Does breaking someone's neck kill them? Why does breaking someone's neck kill them? Recovering DNA indoors versus outdoors. I know a lot of people are saying right now, this is premeditated. It's not. It's not. This is him trying to get away. So all this would apply after she was dead. So after she's dead, he's trying to figure out. Now, if he had done these searches, say January, and then this happened in February, this would be a clear case of, hey, this guy did extensive research on how to frig up the autopsy, how to throw everybody off, how to make it seem like, or how to make it difficult for them to determine cause of death and all this other stuff. But this was done on months after she had already been reported missing and had gone missing. She hadn't been discovered yet. And I could imagine also he was probably paranoid at this point because he's like, Lord, I wonder what the police are saying. Let me look up this. So he's looking up FBI. He's looking up high profile cases in this county. He's looking up, what's the possibilities of them discovering her where I had put her at and all these things. Am I going to get catch? Am I going to get catch? What are the possibilities of me getting caught? Recovering DNA indoors versus outdoors. He last searched for that. 7/7/2019. July 7th, 2019. Now, all these searches that I'm about to tell you about was in July. Remember, me just tell you that she was discovered July 11th. Okay? Here he is, July 7th, July 8th, even up to July 11th. He was still searching, and July 11th is when she was discovered. Here are some more of the searches. He searched for recovering DNA indoors versus outdoors. Chapter 7 versus Chapter 13. Chapter 7 versus Chapter 13, for those of y'all who don't know, that is bankruptcy. There are two different types of bankruptcies you can file. Are you going to file a Chapter 7 or are you going to file a Chapter 13? Right? All right. Texas Code 38.23. Suppression of evidence. This is around the July 8th. Suppression of evidence. Tampering with evidence. He looked that up. And then on the 11th, when she was discovered, he also looked up, do bones decompose? How long does it take for bones to decompose in a coffin? When do skeletals become brittle? This is all on the 11th, the day she was discovered. How long does it take for bones to decompose in coffin? How long does it take for bones that are unburied to decompose? How long does it take for a body to decompose? skeletal decomposition. Is Austin humid? I guess he might have got some information that under humid conditions, the body might decompose faster, etc., etc. So is Austin humid? Another one of his searches. At this point, it shows that he was preoccupied with getting away. Can even be paranoid, like I said before. Someone might find her remains and what time he would get in prison, if he's going to get time, based on how much they could find, that kind of stuff. You know, some people feel like them can commit murder. Them feel like they could kill somebody and walk around fine, right? But I'm telling you that your mind is going to bother you so much, especially if you're really a good person normally. Like, this is not your thing. You don't go around killing people, and you're not like, Chuck, but that's my seventh kill. The first one used to bother me still, but you see, after the first one, the second one was a little bit easier, and then by the time I reached the fifth one, I not even care no more. I don't even remember who that person was. If you ain't that kind of killer, you take a life from a human being, especially in a situation like this, somebody you are intimate with, they have a child together, you're looking like, damn, now my child doesn't have a mom. No, my life is going to change forever, blah, blah, blah. You cannot walk around with your conscience clear and your head feel good every day. This thing is going to bother you. That's why you have some people feel like they're going crazy. They just walk down to the police station and go confess. Let me get this off of my chest. I have to get this off my chest. I can't keep it in no more. It happens all the time. See? So he was tormented. He was tormented. Paul Anderson takes the stand. This is Andrine's dad. He takes the stand. He testified that he only had 2 children. This man only have 2 picnic. I learned at this point that, because I know Andrine has other sisters, so that means her mom had children different from what Andrine's dad had. You know, pick the by next man. Then they might have broke up, or I don't know what the case was, but he testified that he had 2 children. He had a son, that's his one son, and he had a daughter, and that Andrine was his only daughter. They asked, what's up with the son? Where is he at today? And the dad says he passed away a couple of years ago in a car accident. So his son is dead, and then Andrine passed away too. So he lost both his children. He also says that he doesn't live in the United States of America. He lives in Sheffield in England. But when he comes to visit the US, he normally stays with his daughter, which is Andrine, right? Now, Daddy describes Andre still describes him as my son-in-law. If I took the stand, and this is my daughter's case, and them asks, who is Andre? I would say the dirty John Crow and murder my daughter because he was married to her, and that's how they would have had to been like, excuse me, sir, please, could you just like in relation to, I understand you're a bit emotional right now, but you know, but all of them seem like they're so cool, calm, and collected, like everybody so far. But you know, majority of Jamaicans, like especially grown people, this is normally their demeanor, especially in the presence of authority. You're in a courthouse. You're surrounded by a judge, bailiff, police officers around you, lawyers, doctors, attorneys, all kind of sitting, right? So you feel like, okay, I have to present myself this way then. Me never cuss out him blouse and skirt. That dirty dog right there, so. I thought that's what the dad was going to say, but it wasn't. He said, that's my son-in-law. And they said, can you point him out in this courtroom? He says, yes. They said, go ahead and point him out. He says, that's him right there. Can you say, give us a short description of what you're seeing, like, so we know, say, I point to the right person. He says, that's him right there in the gray suit sitting between blah, 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 whatever, describes Andre Mcdonald. Boom, an alarm goes off. Emergency situation. Now you know we normally have these clear the building, a drill. These drills don't respect nobody. The drills them come on all the time. The place could be flooded full of people, important stuff going on. They want to see if you can make it out the building, or those who are in charge of running the building can effectively get everybody out in time before the whole building burn down and all that. So them know say their SOPs and their standard operating procedures and their protocols work. That's what y'all saw. So they empties it and boom, everything stopped. Daddy leaves the stand. Everybody evacuates the building. Daddy come back and speak like a bit more. His testimony continues. He spoke. He said that he spoke with Andreen, his daughter, quite often, at least 3 times a week, but definitely mostly on Fridays though, for sure. Like if a Friday come round, him no say man him daughter go have a conversation. See? And he was aware that they were having issues in their marriage. They told everybody they were having issues in their marriage. Everybody seen it, witnessed it. You know, probably call on here, cussing and going in the background and all these things. What going over there? What to know? All right, Andreen. Jesus God, we'll not talk to each other, so that kind of stuff. You know, our parents them stay still. Oh God, man, no come here, come divorce and broke up in the marriage, man. It's a vow you take before the Lord, you know, if you honor the vow, man. But I don't need to calm down, simmer down, get some counseling or something, you know, have to make this work. It's marriage, you know, and these kind of things. That time that them probably don't know how rough it are going inside there. And some parents that are of the other generation, them not even care if beating are going in a relationship. Them want you stick it out. Them want you get help. Them want you make sure, you know, all them want know say you didn't end up with a divorce, because divorce is looked at as it's like one of the worst things ever. A new generation look upon divorce like, oh, shit ain't working out. I'm out. I'm filing the papers. Kick rocks. Bye. That's not how our people them look at it. Those before us. It was a shameful thing to lose your marriage. You know what I'm saying? So they asked them, are you aware? Were you aware that they were having problems, issues in their marriage, serious issues? He said, yes. Did you ever speak to them about it? He says, yes, I tried to counsel them by speaking to them. They said, did you speak to both of them? He said, yes, I spoke to both of them. Spoke to Andre, spoke to Andreen. Daddy looked so hurt. And he looked at Andre. When he finally looked in Andre's direction, the camera paused upon him enough, and he stayed there for like quite a while, just looking. And he looked at Andre with such disdain, such, I don't even want to use the word hate, but it was almost like you could feel that kind of like, man, you disappointment, and I don't even know if it's hate, more like disappointed. You ever been so disappointed that it hurt? Not disappointed like, oh well, I guess it ain't gonna work out. But a deep kind of disappointment, like you so disappointed somebody that you put so much trust and faith in somebody, like I know you're strong, I know you're gonna make this, and them just frig it off. It make you want to like grab them and like punch off them face. That kind of disappointment there. Like, you know how I believed in you? You know how I was riding for you? I mean, you killed my one daughter, like really? His look said everything. And I stayed there and I looked at him the whole time he was looking at him, man. So the prosecution asked him, what did Andre tell you about why he beats your daughter? And of course, Andre lawyers jumped in and was like, hey, objection, Your Honor. What kind of line of questioning is this? What did Andre tell you about why he beats your daughter? Do you see how this can be leading the jury down a path up? And the judge says, yes, I do see. So Andre's attorneys jumped in real quick. Don't even bother answer that. That was a leading question that could violate my client's rights. And then they went on to say, he said that they asked him, when was the last time you spoke to your daughter? He said February 20th or 28th. Let me see. Yeah, that was the last time I spoke to Andreen. And then he looked like he was about to cry when he said that was the last time I spoke to Andreen. And then, you know, you have to lock it off. And you could see that's a man thing, and him just lock it back off and go back in that space of mind. They just kept bringing pictures to him and asking him, identify who these people are. They showed those pictures to us, the viewing audience, as well. And it was a picture of Andreen with their little girl, Elena. And he verified that's my daughter and my granddaughter, so on and so forth, and verified some more pictures. And then he got off the stand. He pretty much stayed on the stand like a short time. He wasn't up on the stand too long. And I mean, what else? He didn't have much to say, and he wasn't around. He doesn't even live here, right? T95 South says that's what I thought too when he looked at him. Yeah, man, you could see it. You could see the disdain. You could see the disappointment. You could see the man, I expected so much more from you. I really thought that you guys were going to pull this through. You a military man. Like, I thought you were stronger than this. You know, just so much stuff. His look. You know them say a look tells 1,000 words or whatever? Yeah. And yes, Juno Bryan, you could definitely tell that that man was hurting. He was hurting. Him look like, honestly, him look like if given the chance, he would probably fight Andre. If you lock two of them in our room, they were gonna fight. But you know, he's trying to keep his composure, and there was nothing about him that says I'm a violent person or I'm an aggressive person. He's a pretty big man. That man looked like about 6'9", 6'7", somewhere up there. So, or maybe I saw him look. When we go out in a public, people are like, "Damn, you tall! How come you don't look like that on the on the screen?" I don't know. Anyhow, we're going into Andre's testimony now. This is where, pardon my language, if you have virgin ears, this is where the shit hits the fan, my friend. This is what we've been waiting on, and man, was this bone-chilling, riveting friggin' testimony. Here we go. Andre takes the stand. I gathered from all this, work with me. There's pages to go. Andre said he was born in St. Catherine, Jamaica. He went to St. Jago High School. Big up St. Jago. They usually have some wicked athletes, especially runners. Anyway, he was born in St. Catherine. I was under the impression that he was born in Portland and he grew up with his father, Beachy. But I know so. He was born in St. Catherine. He's a town boy. He lived with his mom and his aunt in Jamaica. Now, hear what? We have a saying. Let me stop right there real quick and say that. We have a saying. Men or boys that are raised by women only with no men around, they're usually like overly emotional, fight a woman kind of, or they express women tendencies when dealing with issues, problem solving, or whatever. I don't know. That's what crossed my mind as he was testifying. But let's get back into his testimony. Neither here nor there. So he was born in St. Catherine, Jamaica. St. Jago High School is where he went to, and he lived with his mom and his aunt in Jamaica. He knew Andreen as a small child. He knew Andreen, he said, as a small child. He left Jamaica in November of 1995 to live in Florida with his mom and stepdad. His mom married a man in the US and then filed for him. And they asked him, so you got citizenship to the US through your mom and her husband? He said, yes. Well, you know we do the thing already, right? Go over somewhere, go find somebody married and then file for me, pick them and get them up here quick and bumps them on one of them there. Yeah? Not away one of them there. So anyhow, he said that he excelled in school. They asked him about his educational background. He's a brilliant youth. He might not know dummy. He went on to earn a degree in electrical engineering from BCC. And then he went on to FIT, Florida Florida Institute of Technology or Florida Institute of Technology. No, that's down where I live. FIT. Then he joined the Air Force. So he got a degree in engineering. Then he went off to FIT. He graduated, same engineering stuff with a higher degree, and then he went off to the Air Force. In order for you to be an officer in the military, you have to have a degree. That a lot of people don't know. You don't just go, oh, I want to be an officer, and they like, okay, you can be officer or enlisted. You have to have a degree. All right. And the higher the degree, the better. So some of them will join and then they will work out with the military. Like, I'll go to school for the next 8 years. At the end of those 8 years, I'm looking at earning a bachelor's. I'm not a bachelor's. I'm looking at earning a master's degree. And then if I earn a master's degree, I will pay back the military with 8 years of service for the 8 years they financed me through school. You understand? Yeah, T95 South. He from our parts. He from our parts. So, and he grew up there too. So he earned his degree, electrical engineering at BCC. Then he went on to FIT, earned a higher degree. Then he joined the Air Force. Then he went to the Officers Training School. 2005, February, he graduated. And then he met Andreen in 2009 in Jamaica when he went to Jamaica for a funeral. Now, remember, he had already known her since she was a little girl, right? So he went back to Jamaica to visit. Andreen never fly out yet. She's still there in Jamaica. And he went to attend this funeral and then he buck up in her. Papa, you could open the fridge and take your juice out. I already put it in your cup. I love you. All right, you could go to mommy too. You out there, babe? All right. All right. He said this, which, Simia, what the? Listen to that part here. Okay, so by this time you're gathering that, you know, where the story I go. You're over a decade older than this young lady. You went to Jamaica, you see something that you like, you decide say, I want her. So you to come to the US to live with me and all these other things. So what's this gonna lead to? It's gonna lead to marriage and filing papers, right? All right. A lot of us were under the impression that Andreen grew up in the US at some point and that her family had filed for her already, and then she had her papers and all these other things. This is where it came out that him filed for Andreen after he went to Jamaica and saw her when he went to attend a funeral. He ended up staying in Jamaica a month and a half. And in the month and a half he was there, he played Andreen closely and they developed this kind of tightness, or him did like the tightness, whichever way you want to take it. And then him decides, say, whoop, you have to come with me. So I want to marry you, carry go foreign. He says, my oldest sister is also Andreen's cousin. So they're my third cousin, babe. My wife is working this logistics out. She says if the sister is Andreen's cousin, that would make Andre and him wife third cousins. Me granny back for things did frig up from morning. And again, I started thinking, damn, and the child between them came out autistic. I don't know what kind of cousin them would I be. Yeah, that part there. And the man said it in court nonchalantly, like, yeah, cause my sister, my oldest sister is actually Andreen's cousin. And just skipping right along. I mean, I say, what the family? Yeah, Carrie and Jones. You see me, I say, wait there, hold on there. How the Rami are going around here? So this is family ram, man. This, but anyhow, he said he stayed in Jamaica for a month and a half that time, and he dated Andrew in the month and a half he was there. He carried on a long distance relationship. Later, he married and he filed for her and he brought her to the US. Listen, listen, listen. At this time, when he filed for her and brought her to the US, expedited her papers to get here because he was a captain in the military by this point. Now, let me tell you, you got butter bars, lieutenants, right? And then you have captains. You have lieutenant, first lieutenant, second lieutenant, and then you have a captain. A captain will command even up to a whole company. A company where you have different platoons in the company. So it's heavy responsibilities that fall under a captain. See? All right. He's already advancing in life. Remember, I know the man have him 2 degrees them already, you know, from BCC and from FIT, you know. Joined the military, went to officer school. This point, years went by now. From 2005, he graduated. 2009, he went 4 years into the military, doing his thing, getting promoted through the ranks, living his life, right? Perfect credit, good score, money, save up, all these things. Life is beautiful. Goes to Jamaica for a funeral. Boom. Bumps into Andreen. Ooh, I remember her. Damn, she grew up and look nice on these things. Anyhow, decides to marry her, take her to the US. He's a captain in the military at this time. He finances her education when she gets here. They asked him while he's on the stand. So when Andreen came here, where did she get, because she's new to the country, so where would she get like finances to like send herself to school and all that? He says, because he's a go-getter. So he wants a wife that's a go-getter too. And I'm telling you, when these guys go to, say, a military ball, they want to show their wives off. You know what I'm saying? It's a circle. It's called the FRG circle. So you want to show your wife off. You know, one wife that is a dummy. Now, she don't have to have no big high degree or nothing, but she got to have something going on. Either she's a good mom to the 7, 8 kids that you gave her and everybody knows them on post. And they're like, yo, she's friggin' super mom. And that, and they bow down to that and they respect that, because in the military, they understand that when you get them orders and you got to go here, there, and everywhere, your house could be in shambles. You got to have a superhero holding that down. You got a lot of nasty wives in the military, like they can't wait for their husband to leave. A man to jump them fence and go into them back door and all these things. It's a common friggin' thing. And I'm telling you from experience. See? So it's either she's that super mom, or she's like highly educated and she runs some kind of business or something. So he invested in her. He said, I financed her education. That was a discussion that we had when she came here. I said, I'm going to give you some time to feel out the place, get settled in, and then I want you to go to school. Now is the time for you to go to school, because you don't have to work nowhere. You don't have to pay no bills or nothing. I want you to go to school, further your education. So she went to school after a year of being here. He even helped her with her schoolwork. Like she had homework and stuff that she didn't understand. See? So he would help her with our schoolwork and stuff, help her study, help her work out these mathematical problems and all these things. And they were living in Florida together. They left Florida in 2010, May of 2010. Moved to San Antonio, where he had gotten a position in the military as a radar system analyst. That's 2010. Spouse benefits, my friend. You're absolutely right, Grace Tennant. By 2011, their daughter, Elena, was born. Remember, them just moved 2010. He said when Andreen was pregnant, she had a condition called preeclampsia. I'm sure y'all are aware of this condition. If not, you can go look it up. She had preeclampsia during the pregnancy, which led to an early birth of their daughter. So she was forced to deliver at 29 weeks in. He smiled. For the first time, he actually gave a real smile when asked if it was a happy memory with his daughter. They showed him a picture. What's this picture? Describe what's going on here. And he looked at the picture and he said, we were living in, like he would say, we were living in Highland Oaks at this point. So Elena got to have been about 4 years old. I think she was 4 right here. And then he cheesed up, in my smile. And them asked him, was it good times around that time? And he says, yes, happy memories. She stuck to school, Andreen. She completed her degree in 2012. And then she came to him with a business idea after she graduated. The business idea was starting an assisted living facility. He said, that's not my interest, but it sounds good. Let's give it a try and see if it works. So they sat together and drew up a business plan. He even went as far as to say, the rules in the state of Texas is you can have up to 4 patients in a house before you have to actually register it as that kind of a business. So they went ahead and rented a house first, and they tried it with 4 patients in it, and it took off. And then they were like, okay, now we got to get a building. So they went to purchase a building, and they went to purchase a building, and they asked him, so where does the money come from to purchase the building? Because I'm sure Andreen, fresh graduate, new immigrant, haven't worked anywhere, didn't come with money. Where did the money come from? He funded the business using his military salary and monies that he had saved over the years. And he worked in the business when it first started. Healthcare isn't his thing, so he was the maintenance guy. Anything broke, him get that fixed. He maintained the property, the yard. They did some extensive renovation on the building to turn it into that kind of a facility. It's a house, and they turned it into that kind of a facility, right? 2014, they found out that Elena was autistic. He said he went to go drop her off to school. One of the teachers said to him, hey, she's showing signs of, things that, couple of traits that are common in autistic children. I think y'all should take her, go get her tested and see if she is, so that we can, get her the proper help that she needs to facilitate her advancing in life and stuff. So did you take her to go get tested? He said, yes, immediately. And what happened? Well, it came back that she was autistic. And I was crushed. How did you feel about it? I was crushed. At that time, I really didn't understand what autistic is, but we had to educate ourselves quickly and get on the ball and get her all the stuff that she needed. So basically, he was very involved with her autism. Getting her to communicate by writing, that was him that figured it out. She wasn't verbal. And he figured that if you write stuff down, she would actually say it. So in order to have her say like, no, I don't want that, or no, he would write no. And then she would read out no. By 2015, they purchased their second facility. The first one was doing good. Again, he financed that second facility. That part, she did the business plan this time, and he went from full military. He was a full-time military guy. He wasn't a reservist. It was because of how the business was taking off. He said, I don't want to be doing the military thing and be gone all the time and leave all this on Andreen because it's exploding. One is doing good. They just opened a second one now, and they did some extensive renovations on this facility. So he put in to go from full active duty to reserve to facilitate the growth of the business. Now, 2016, he gets promoted. And now he's promoted from captain to major. Now he's a major. And in this time, he went away for 6 months to school in Biloxi, Mississippi. This is where the shit gets crazy now. He went away to school for 6 months. This is the part I'm telling y'all that a lot of women cannot understand. Yes, babe, I love you. I'll ride with you to the end, whatever. You know I'm signing up for 8 years, right? Yeah, you know I'm going to be in the infantry, right? Yeah, you know my unit is a rapid deployment unit, right? Yeah, you know I could be gone for up to a year at a time, right? Yeah, baby, I love you. I'll hold you down. Some of them can't wait 2 weeks. 2 weeks, them start walk around and look for dick. But anyhow, in order to go from captain to major, you have to have schooling. So the military, not army, he wasn't in the army. The Air Force sends him to school in Biloxi, Mississippi, right? He's there in school for 6 months. Things are going good. He's away from home. He's missing wife. He's missing baby. And then suddenly he gets a text telling him, don't come back to the house when you're done with your school. He's like, what? Don't come back to the house when you're done with your school. He's like, this is August. We're having a grand opening on our second building, our second facility, scheduled for September. Don't come back to the house? What kind of bullshit is this? So he came back to the house from his 6 months away, his 6 months of training, to a totally different woman and drama. And this is the time when he filed for a divorce, and it's on the record. He said, my life is very organized. I'm moving up the ranks. I'm a military man. I'm not into having this extra drama and stuff around me. I think it's best for us to go our separate ways. I tried talking to her. Obviously, she doesn't want to work anything out. At this time, him never know. Say a next man in the picture why things are going like that, but he found out later on. 2017. This is 2016. 2017 is when the police first came to his house. Why? While they're going through the divorce, remember I filed the divorce, you know? And while they're going through the divorce, Andreen wanted to keep his name off of all the paperwork. So she already make up her mind, so she's going to start fights. She's going to get this marriage to end in a divorce. And she wants his name off all business papers. She jumpy. It's too early. He left. He left. He packed some clothes and he left. And when he came back, he said, I came back to get the rest of my things. The police was at my house. And he asked the cop, he says, hey, I don't mind you guys being here. Stay. Please stay. So I can go upstairs peacefully, get my stuff, and get the hell up out of here. So he takes some more stuff, and he went and he checked into a hotel. All this is on record. He went back to get the rest of his things, and Andreen locked the door them from inside with the deadbolt locks, so he couldn't get into his own house. Now, mind you, I him put her in a house and file for her car, come up, and pay for her school, make sure go through school, earn degree, everything. You got to walk with the story. I don't have no dogs in this fight. I've done videos before that says be careful who you file for and bring a foreign. I did like 2 or 3 of those. He says this time he's staying away. He's not messing with her or anything. She keeps on calling and texting him, And he's like, fuck, man. This is while they're going through it, right? So he told her, look, I don't mind getting a divorce. She starts begging him to come back. So he returns, gets back, rekindles stuff with her, because he said, I have a wife and I have a child and I want my marriage to work, right? So regardless of all that was going on, I'm willing to go get therapy, work this out somehow, whatever. So he went to the lawyer. To stop the divorce proceedings. And that, my friend, is how y'all heard that divorce was filed before. Me don't pay attention to the comment section too much, but when it's over there, see, she did file for a divorce. If his ass had just signed the damn divorce papers, none of this wouldn't have happened. No, it was him who filed for a divorce. It was she who begged him to come back. All right. He stops the divorce. Money is up. Things are looking good. They move into a new house. He said he's thinking, new house, bigger, nicer stuff. You know, we're moving up. I think this would make her happier. The damn issues started again. So he was like, why the hell did you waste your time doing all that texting and calling and begging me to come back? And I came back and I stopped the divorce, and now you start all this all over again. Aubin is the name of her man. And when time them pull up Aubin picture in a court, you want to see me and wifey look for each other. So here, babe, she a gunman. What, my friend? I can't say nothing about nobody with tattoos. I got a whole lot of tattoos myself. You know what I'm saying? Or the Sibi, but yo, Adrian, man, well tatted up in a full chest tattoo and everything. And there are some markers on him that are going to come into play right now. Pay attention, pay attention. Him specifically have a couple of tattoos that will make a big part of this. So, big strong body man. When they are Jamaican, yam up him and eat up him sustenance and these things. Yam dasheen, cocoa breadfruit and banana. Boy, them yeah, wicked, them wicked. Anyway, let's get back to the facts of what was said in court. All right. So moving to this new house, him think things would have been better. She come with this drama again. This is when he start putting one on one together. I tell you how. They asked him, are you aware of this guy named Aubin? He says, yes, that's Andrine's man, Andrine's boyfriend in Jamaica. When time them pull out the whole picture, come here, I said, them don't know what him look like or who him be. Me granny backfoot. Have multiple pictures them have of Aubin, my friend. He's a local drug dealer and gang leader. Now you got to understand that this shit hurt like a motherfucker. You a military man. You live within the confines of the law. You're highly educated. You're upward mobile in life. You send her through school so she becomes your equal. We're both educated. We have a big business that I run. We're expanding fast. And he's a drug dealer / gang leader. You fuck me with? Eh? You can imagine how the man detect that? You can imagine how low him feel? You can imagine how him feel like, say, yo, them probably a clown her out and laugh after me while them a laugh after she. So they go through who Aubin is in the courtroom. They present Aubin Hall's picture in court. He discovered, hey, Aubin, hello, hi. If you're watching Aubin, listen, I know me say so, is what was put in court. So I'm like, why you see me a Jamaican come bother me about SouFLo, you mess up my image. I know me say so. If you watch the testimony, this is what they said. Me write it down word for word. All right, we're good. All right, sir. They present Aubin Hall's picture in court, him full name, everything. He goes on to talk about how he discovered a tattoo. Wifey is getting new tattoos and stuff. So they went somewhere for a weekend getaway, couples weekend getaway, and he went with another military buddy and his wife, and took his wife and their children and their child, and let's go away for the weekend and stuff. And he says as they're sitting there at the table, they're about to, partake in some good food and stuff. Him look over and him say, like, new tattoo on him woman. she had just went to Jamaica and came back. And him see new tattoos on her. Remember, I know all been tatted up, you know. Her tattoo was an A. But it wasn't just A. It was a specific A that was written in a kind of specific way. And guess who has that same A? She put it on herself. Same size and everything. Guess who has the same A? Auburn. Right in the center of him chest. Big as ever. I said, God damn, this is like Brandon Maho. He branded his hoe. And send her back to the money man. The one where I go finance with future lifestyle. Yeah, girl, go and go get that together. That kind of thing. Same tattoo as Arbin, where Arbin have on him chest, matching her tattoo with our man tattoo. The nerve. The mama backside nerve. No, man. Then the man look and see what next tattoo upon his wife. Him start make beer rasnizing at the people in house. I have to laugh. Rasta. No, I have to laugh. People can't be so wicked. Anyhow, 14/3/76. The man said, me know I've been good. I've been stay about 2 doors down from my father in Portland. Me know I've been good. Me actually know say around them time there I've been birth date. When them go back to visit Arbin picture now, 14.3.76 pan Arbin shoulder. I hit she come back with from Jamaica tattoo pan for herself. The man birthday and the man big A for Arbin. And her husband just seen this. And she was trying to fly under the radar. But you see, what we call it now? Technology is a bitch sometimes. Because the man go Facebook. That's what I'm saying. Because she had just came back from Jamaica and he knows that they had a big celebration for Arbin's 40th or 40-something birthday, something like that. And when time she come back, him said I can go look it up and thing. And boom, there it was, and all these pictures, and it was on her stuff too. Well, he left for 6 months training. She went to Jamaica when he left for his 6 months training and came back with all that. Remember her friend, the lady who works out with her all the time, said that those were prime times for Andreen to travel to Jamaica to go be with Aubin. When anytime the military sent Andre anywhere, she booked ticket to Jamaica to go get her lovey-dovins. 2018, she went to Jamaica for his birthday celebration. Aubin is actually older than Andre. And it was revealed in court that Aubin had been having relations with Andreen since she was 13 years old. Yeah. They asked him, how did you feel about that? Because he's older than even you. So if he was having relations with her when she was 13, he was already an adult. And he was like, yeah, I knew about it. And when I found out about it, I was pissed off, you know, because it's not right. He said this is when he started putting stuff together. And all her arguments and all her disrespect was coming his way because she was talking to Aubin. So whenever Aubin wouldn't answer him phone or him brush her off or they had an argument behind the scenes or anything happened like that, she would take it out on him. You can imagine a man outside of your marriage that dictate your marriage. So when am I go up on training again? Find out now. And she said, I'll go in November. I'm going for 6 months. All right. Me make preparations for you come through. Book your ticket. Hey, don't give no pussy, you know. Keep something tight for me, see? When you come here, deal with it proper. So your wife starts sleeping in a separate room. Start bust big argument in your house. No matter how you're on bended knees like boys to men, I try work out your situation. She don't want to hear nothing. She blame me for everything. More argument, pan more argument. You can't figure out why. See if she has saved the coochie. He went for Arbin. I haven't given him none in 6 months, babe. It's all yours. Take it, seat ya. Rev it. He started figuring out that they were rekindling or they had never left. They spoke of one incident where he said he grabbed her face to get out of the car because she wouldn't let him out. This was after when he discovered the tattoos, they were in somebody's house and him start cuss Ross, him start being nice. And the people in there were telling him like, yo, calm down, calm down, calm down and stuff. So he decided, yo, we're going home. So Andreen is driving. Him say, he must sit down in a back seat. So he sits in the back seat because I don't even want to sit next to you in the front. So he sits in the back seat. And they're arguing while they're driving. And he say, you know what? Let me out. Stop and let me out. She start. She not let him out, you know. The man say, I beg. He beg about 10 times. She wouldn't let him out. So he confessed that him pawn her face while she driving. Pawn her face, so. And of course, she was trying to get away. And him, they have fingernails at the time. So him fingernail rake her face like some tribal mark. But that got her to stop. And when she stopped, he got out of the car. He also told of 2015 when Maureen came to live with them, Andreen's mom, and how he would refer to her as mommy. Him file for her and bring all our mother. Come up here. She could come live in our house. She could work at the businesses. You know, she'll have gainful employment, have her as an employee on the books. She could file her taxes. I could make sure she get proper paperwork. So she don't know illegal immigrant or run off on a little work or nothing. She's coming to good life and stuff like that, right? Yeah. So he said he used to refer to her as mommy because that's what we do in Jamaica. Typically, we call our mom mommy, and he had respect for her, so he called her mommy as well while she lived at the house with them. He had moved out of the house, but he moved back into the house. This time, he said, we're going to move in, but we're going to stay in a separate rooms, and we're going to slowly work this out. See? Because it was a big house, multiple rooms. So he was like, I'll stay in a separate room, but we can work on this and work things out. February 18 comes around now. He had a birthday party. This is his 40th birthday. And he said, even though they were going through all the fighting and stuff, Andreen decided she wants to throw him a 40th birthday party. Now, after the birthday party, she came to him and said, babe, let's go to Jamaica to the Buju Banton concert. I think it's the Buju Banton concert that me and my wifey went to. Buju did just come out and thing, and Buju and friends and blah, blah, blah. Let's go to that Buju Banton concert. He said that was very suspicious because we ain't really been talking. We like touch and go. We're not even doing nothing. We in separate rooms in the house. You know, it's cold in there. And on top of that, the 9 years I had been with her, I had never heard her listen to a Buju Banton song. And I myself, I don't listen to Buju Banton music. So she has never heard me pull up a Buju. No, here, what did I go on? So I'm saying, call him brethren, and him say, yo, what do you think about this? What do you think she had tried to do? Because remember, I know him know about the boy now, you know, and he knows who that person is. See? He knows this man, Emo. He knows how he operates. Yes, Annette Henry. Not Annette Henry, Mervyn the Point, Jamaica Kerr. I plan for Cam go Jamaica go dash him way. Texas is a 50-50 state. Divorce, go ahead. The assets are going to be split 50-50. If you have 4 businesses, she'll get 2, you'll get 2. If you have 100 grand in the bank, she'll get 50, you'll get 50 and go about your way. No matter where you do, that's how it goes in Texas. She didn't want that. She wanted everything. So when him decides, say, nah, I'm not going to the budget thing. I don't want to go to Jamaica. The man said, I hadn't been to Jamaica in years. I had no plans of going back to Jamaica anytime soon at this point. And here she was forcing me to go. So she suggested at my birthday party, she a sucker, I mean, a 40th birthday party. Ooh, big party, babe. Happy birthday. Let's go to Jamaica after this. Depending P's and Q's. So, not going. But she went though. None of them listened to Buju in the 9 years after marriage. No Buju all of a sudden. Let's go to Buju concert. She got pissed when he said no. She didn't just get mad. He said she got pissed when he said he didn't want to go. And she moved out of the master bedroom into one next room in the house just because of that. February 2019 now. That morning he got up. He got his daughter ready, Elena ready, gave her a bath, dressed her, gave her vitamin C medicine, put her on a bus, and then he went to work himself. At this point, they're saying how she look like. Is Andreen bigger than you, smaller than you? Is she stronger than you? All this other stuff, right? It turns out he is 5'9", and Andreen is about 5'11" to 6 feet tall. So she's bigger than him. Then I asked, how strong was she? She strong because I heard she work out all the time, does CrossFit. They pull up a video, Andrina lift more weights than me. No bullshit. She was lifting more weights than me, deadlifting more friggin' weights than me. Like some big blood clean 45-pound plate. She had like 4 45 pounds plate on there and more weights. I lift that up and put it down and was like, woo! Then they showed another video of her running around the house with him on her back. No sweat. So if you want to know if she did strong or if them get in a fight, if she probably could have overpowered him or she feel like, yo, like boy, no, I've been a big man, you know. Him the big tall guy with the whole heap of tattoo them and stuff. Huzzy is like a 5'9" guy, you know, she a 6. She him a 5'9", him little, she can put him on him back, her back and run around the house. So she don't feel like, me don't know. John know. Ladies, if you want a big man, just go for a big man. Nobody marry no little short man and then out the road and look for every big man where you see a pass. I think she got a prize for her performance at the gym. That was a deadlift competition. She strong. Me telling you already, you know. Me see the video on Instagram, you know. And when me see a little girl cut down like this, me say her daddy send her go boxing school or something. And me see the big man running and me see she duck like this and give him an overhand and him spread out. I was like, see, that's why me not fight nobody. Male, female, or picnic. Not fight nobody. But anyhow, they went to file taxes and he realized, now this is the day in question. They went to file taxes and he realized that there was a 4th business that had been started. Now they were already starting their 4th business together. Them have 3 up and running. Time to expand. They're talking about and drawing up the plans to do a 4th one. But Andreen had already started a 4th one. But this one, he said, I realized then that she was robbing me. Open up a 4th business, She had a separate account to that fourth business, and she was funneling money from the other businesses that we had and putting them into that fourth business. And he was not on the bank paperwork for that, even though he was the financier. He was not. Listen to this. He was the financier again. What she did, he said this time there are three businesses in. So this time he's more trusting with the money. So he's like, go ahead. So he writes the check and he's like, go ahead and take this and, go get the paperwork done and get stuff started. She took it and put it into the business that she just started, LLC'd, with the bank account that he has no attachment to, and left his name off of it. That's how the fight started. And then he saw that she was funneling money from their other businesses into this side business. This is when he confronted her about it in the tax lady. He says, they asked them in the tax, because I watched the tax lady's testimony, and she said, nah, they weren't really arguing out loud, but I could tell something was off. But I normally talk more to Andreen anyways, because she's the one that does the brunt of the paperwork. He's just like, the financier. Him put the money, she do the paperwork, and make the thing work for them. So it's in the tax office he finds out. Which is funny because the tax lady said, they asked her, did you ever see any new business opened up or anything? She said no. Well, there was this fourth business. Yeah, actually she did. She said, well, there was this fourth business, that new LLC that, but I wasn't filing taxes for it. Of course, because it just opened. Anyway, Andre says he didn't want to start no big argument inside the tax office, so he just kept his, tried to keep a straight face. They left the tax office. They went in separate cars. They came in separate cars. You're there busy, and you say, hey, babe, meet me down at the tax office. Let's take care of this together, and then you can go back to work or whatever. So they arrived in separate vehicles. They left in separate vehicles. He goes home. He says he gets home first before she does. He's home for a moment or two, 5-10 minutes, and then she pulls in a few moments later. While he's there, he searches Google, divorce, and business, and he found out that she had registered the new business to. He wanted to find out if she had registered the new business, how long had she been doing this. Basically, in his own words, he says he did that because he wanted to find out how long had she been plotting against me. You have to understand this military man's mindset. This is my enemy in my house. You're plotting against me. Now, mind you, why you inviting me to Jamaica? I have your man down there, and I found out about it. And you're still dealing with him. You see, things are adding up, right? You even went and got his tattoo on you, his date of birth, and his big old A. She named the business that she started after their daughter, Elena. It's called Elena's Property Management, LLC. He said, they asked him, so did you put anything into this? He says, I didn't create the paperwork for this, and I didn't sign any documents towards this. July 10th, 2018 is the date that that business, the LLC, was created. That was the same time she got the 2 tattoos. Just come back from Jamaica, get 2 tattoos. Okay, I'm gonna start a new business, funnel the money over into that new business, cut him off financially, blah, blah, blah. So they're making plans now. So he said, lucky me never go Jamaica. Cause dash them, the one dash me way down there. Took all the finance documents and put it in a new business. All the money that he gave her, she took it and put it into this new business. The argument gets heated at the house. She gets aggressive because he's asking her, why are you doing this? The argument gets heated. She gets aggressive. Instead of saying, I'm sorry. That's what he said. He says, instead of saying, I'm sorry, she gets loud. boisterous, aggressive. He leaves. And when he said he left before, no, he really left. He leaves. He drives away from the house. He goes down to the gas station to chill out, to breeze out. He's on camera down by the gas station just chilling out. Imagine you have your yard, right, and things so frig up at your yard, you have to jump in your car and drive, go park up at a gas station and sit down. I could be in my house watching TV. I could be in my house enjoying a game on TV, something. May park up out there under the elements while you in there enjoy my house. You know? So I'm left him chill out, go breeze out down by the gas station. Sat in the gas station for a while. Basically, he said he was shocked, thinking about how she's ripping him off and how we got to this. While he's down by the gas station, Andreen is texting him. She texts him some information about property, some property information. Him say, never really need to look on it or whatever. Then he responds, I'm not even going to argue with you, is what he responds. You do not represent my interest. That's when she was like, eat that boy and all this other stuff. And he was like, yep, from now on, I know how to move. I got to protect myself. So he left the gas station and he drove to a park. He didn't even go home. Spent an extensive time at the gas station, left the gas station, went to a park. He sat in the park listening to music. They asked him why. Why didn't you just go home? He says, because I was killing time. I wanted to stay at the park till it was like midnight or so. Why? Because I wanted to arrive back at the house so late that by the time I got there, everybody would be asleep. It would be quiet. We wouldn't have to argue about anything. And I could go to bed. And then when I wake up in the morning, I would grab some of my stuff and I would leave. And I didn't plan on returning because I was definitely going to file a divorce now. When he walked in, though, first he said when he pulled in, most of the house was dark, which he expected. Their daughter was already asleep, which he expected. But the kitchen light was on, which he thought was weird because they never leave the kitchen light on. So he walks in thinking maybe them accidentally left the light, but everybody is probably in bed. Thought she would be asleep. But Andreen shows up, pissed. She wants to know where the you been. And they arguing. And they go back to arguing about the LLC that he just found out about and about her plan. So you're stifling off money and plan new life with man. You rob me. You got to support your new life with your man. This, that, and the other. He says, you know what? It's all good. Because tomorrow I'm going to the divorce lawyer. And check this out. You can have the divorce. Because when we separate, I won't even have to deal with any of this kind of stuff anymore, the disrespect and all that. And I'll still have my career in the military, and I'll still have everything else, right? And we will go our separate ways. He said that infuriated the out of her. So she started, no. She started cussing him. Go suck your mother, batty boy. And he explained this in English to the audience, jury, judge, lawyers. He explained in English what that meant in Jamaica and what that meant to Jamaicans when somebody tell you, go suck your mother, batty boy. And he was like, you know, the batty boy part, it didn't really too bother me, but the suck your mother part, he says, for all the years we had been married, I had always shown Andreen's mother love and respect. Now you got to remember, Andreen's sister and her mom already testified that that's how he is, right? Him call her mommy. When Andreen go off on her own mother and him step in, oh, you can't talk to your mom like that. Why you doing that? Yo, mommy, go around this, leave her alone, no man. That kind of stuff. The sister testified, said the same thing. He said it was the suck your mother part because, you know, they've always been good to each other's mother. So I'm asking her, He says, who for mother you talk? And her response was, for your mother, me a chat about batty boy. For your mother, me a chat about batty boy. Who for mother you talk about? For your mother. Go suck your mother. At that point, he says he goes into the room and it's all good. And he reiterated when he goes into the room, I try going in our room, right? Him say it's all good. Because when we file this divorce, I'm still going to have my job, my career. We split the business them, we go our separate ways. Me won't have to hear none of this no more and deal with any of this foolishness no more. This is when she charges him. She jumps on him. Up in his face. He's telling her, get out of my face. She's still with the suck your mother batty boy. And what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? Him say him grab her and headbutt her. Bam! Bust her face. Cause him shorter than she, right? So when him grab her a chin, feel him for it there. So him buck her. Bust her chin. She run to the bathroom to check in at the mirror to see if her face, because she see blood. When him buck her, she see blood. So she run go to the bathroom, turn on the light. That's how the blood got on the light switch first, right? She run in there. She sees the blood. He thought she would have left it there. So now she ready for fight. She comes out charging now, throwing blows. He grabs her. I'm saying grab her, wrap her up, and use his leg, fling out him leg and trip her over it. So she drop. She's on the ground. In the momentum of things, him fling two kick. I'm saying when him fling two kick with her down on the ground, he's thinking, I'm going to knock the damn wind out of her so she stop all this. Him hear her a wheeze after him fling the few kick them. Him hear her wheezing. At the same time, he heard footsteps coming upstairs. He says ain't nobody there but me, her, and my daughter. So naturally, as soon as I heard the footsteps, I thought Elena. And he's like, I don't want her to see us fighting like this. So Elena coming down the steps, he meets Elena, and he's like, I'm going to take her upstairs to bed. He takes her upstairs. It takes about 30 minutes or so for her to fall back asleep. They ask him, did your daughter see her mom on the floor? He says, yes. Did your daughter see you hit her mom? He says, no. Well, somebody said you told them that your daughter saw everything. He says, that's a lie. I never told anybody on earth that Elena saw me hit her mom. And then she said something like, because she's talking now, but she not talk like that still. She says, mommy fell. That's what she said. Mommy fell because she was on the ground. And he said, yes, baby, mommy fell. He puts her back to sleep. Took Elena back upstairs, puts her back to sleep. They asked how long the fight lasted between him and her. He said there was a scuffle that lasted about a minute or less. Now, I want to tell y'all something. A minute is a long time. So all of the man them who is 2-minute men, don't make nobody broke your spirit, my friend. I want you to put down a stopwatch and run 2 minutes and see how long that is. Because if you give one stroke for every second, that's 120 strokes you just give her. A whole heap of work that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can start switch it up now. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Adding 2 slap. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30, 31. At 31, me reach, you know. You see what I say? So 2 minutes. He said that the fight lasted about 1 minute. I'm just saying. Put things into context. A lot can happen in a minute in our fight. That me I try to say. All right. All right, SouFlo, stop it. Behave yourself. Go back. All right. I talk to myself. Less than a minute scuffle. 20 to 30 minutes pass. Elena goes back to sleep. He goes downstairs, goes back to the room, and he sees Andreen laying in the same place, and she was not breathing. He said he begins to panic. First, he checks her, check for see, remember if him check pulse or whatever, but he knows for sure that he remember putting his ear to her nose and mouth and no hear nothing. So he was like, damn, she's dead. So he starts to panic. He left, went outside, came back in. He went outside for like a few minutes, and he's thinking outside, damn, look at what my life came to. I friggin' left all night and came back this late just to avoid this. And now this is what happened. Oh my God, right? Then he says the first thing he starts thinking is, oh shit, I got to get her out the house because I don't want Elena to see her mom laying there dead. So the first thing him think was text our phone. So he texts her phone and says, where you at? Elena is in bed. Where you at? Now remember that text message? He says that's when he texted, as if she's not there. So he was like, I'm gonna get rid of her out the house and then pretend like that she just disappear. She walk out and me no know which part she gone. Graphically, he testifies that I grabbed 2 garbage bags. I put the 2 garbage bag them on her. One for her upper half of her body, one for her lower half of her body. I was just trying to escape the whole situation. And I dragged her through the house and I dragged her out to the garage and put her in the trunk of the car. He said that he is panicking at this point, not sure what the hell he's doing, but he knows he has to get her out the house. So he dumps her body in the fields. Then he tries to burn all the evidence in a plastic bucket. And he was like, who burns stuff in a plastic bucket? That's to show. And he was like, that's to show you how out of it I was. I was just thinking, get rid of stuff. She was lying on the bathroom floor, bloody. So it wasn't by the steps. They were fighting out there, but when him buck her chin, she go in that bathroom, right? She was lying on the bathroom floor. Blood and saliva was on the floor, so he tried to clean that up. He went to his daughter's room where she was sleeping, and he stood in the corner in that room in the darkness while his daughter was sleeping, and he cried for about an hour. Correction, the first fight was in the bathroom, or led into the bathroom, yeah. So Elena wakes up and she asks, where's mommy? Soon as she wake up, where's mommy? Hours had passed, morning come. Where's mommy? And I told her, mommy's at the gym. So I do our normal routine. I get her ready, give her a shower, put her clothes on, get her ready, get her dressed, give her her medication, which is her vitamin C, and put her on the bus. And then I send Andreen another text. He said after he sent Andreen another text, he goes outside. He smashes her phone against the wall, picks it up, put it in a bag with some other stuff, and dumps it on his way to work. Because remember, they testified that he did show up to work that day. On his way to work, there was a construction site with fresh construction work going on. And he put, Stash, the hammer though, you're jumping. I'm telling you, I got this. I'm SouFlo enough. I got this. Hang on. All right. Put all that stuff in our bag, drop it off at the construction site in them dumpster where they were dumping other construction stuff on it, debris and stuff. And then her friends started calling. Everybody want to know which part she there. Them said, okay, let's fast forward. Why did you go to the hospital? And he said, I don't know, just to get out of the house, just to clear my head. Scared, thinking our life, I was scared. I was thinking our lives are now over. My daughter, Maureen, myself, other people, because a lot of people depend on us. He brought Andreen and her mom to the USA. He gave them a better life, and this is the repay he gets. That was a part of what he was thinking. They detained him, and then they let him out at this point. He goes back to the field where he left her body at, and that is when he caught her on fire. But he said that the fire went out really fast. So he got the hammer. You asked about the hammer, right? Okay, I got you. He got the hammer. Boy, at this point, he says, I'm pissed. I'm mad. I'm mad at the damn body. I'm mad because I just threw everything away. I'm mad because I'm thinking my daughter's not going to have a father. She's not going to have a mother. I'm fucking mad. I tried to light her on fire. The fire went out. He didn't have the gasoline out there with him. He only had one can that had little extra gasoline from when he used to cut him own lawn. It wasn't enough to burn down the whole thing. Caught her on fire. The fire went out really fast. So he got the hammer and he started beating the corpse. Now remember, the corpse still fresh. He got the hammer and he started beating the corpse. Now here's the thing. When he described the part of how he got the hammer and started beating the corpse, I said, God damn. Andre, at this point, cry, bro. Shed a tear. Even if you're not real, shed a tear. He just nonchalantly explained how he beat out the Ross out of the corpse with the hammer. Anyways, he even described how they asked him, what part of the body were you hitting with the hammer? He says, all up the back, but he remember hitting the neck and the face. Remember the doctor testified about the mandible being hit with a hammer. Your mandible, you have your maxilla, and your mandible, your upper jaw and lower jaw, right? Scientific words. Your mandible, the mandible is cracked under here, consistent with being struck with a hammer, they said. And that's exactly what he testified. So him saying, remember hitting that? And he also remember hitting her in the neck. And he went as far as to say because the hammer had a claw on it. And when him hit her in the neck with it one at a time, the two claws got stuck in her neck. And he had to draw it out. But at this point, I'm just pissed off because it's done already. So he goes back home and changes clothes and all that. Testified that he never used any of the things. They asked him, you bought an axe. I want big axe in the buy, and do you think I want a little axe? Because they only showed the head of it first. Well, if you look at the icon for this video, the detective is holding the whole axe. I want a full big axe. They asked him, so how come you bought the garbage bags? Because those weren't the garbage bags that he used to dispose of her. That he bought the big industrial size garbage bags later on. The axe and other things. The gloves, surgical gloves and stuff. Why didn't you use any of that stuff? They asked him. He said, because I changed my mind. I just couldn't, like him couldn't bring himself to chop her up, to dismember her. So somebody said, nah, because you didn't have enough time to dismember her. He said, no, actually I had enough time to dismember her. I just couldn't dismember her. They asked him, why were you looking up all that stuff on the computer? He says, out of curiosity. And the cross-examiner says, or out of trying to get away with it. And he says, yes, that. Andre leaves the stand for a break. And when he comes off for a break, him and his attorneys are shaking hands. He's in a great mood, almost smiling, as if he had won something, as if, good job. You did a good job up there. Now you got to remember, let's be realistic. In a case like this, he's already rehearsed this with his attorneys. Your attorneys would never put you on a stand without you, and they do a mock trial. I took debate in school. So, not Miami Senior High School, I was on a debate team. So, I know about mock trials and all that. So, you go through a mock trial, and a mock trial is exactly how it would be set up in a real court, and they ask you these hard questions and see how you act, and you would school your client as to, well, at this part, you might want to start showing some emotions, blah, 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 all these other things, right? All right. Court take a recess. Court comes back. Prosecution says Andre twice assaulted Andreen. They come back with this accusation. They said he just testified that he had never had a fist fight since he was 13 years old, which is a lie, because we have proof that he assaulted her in 2017 and in 2018 in front of Maureen and their child, even though he said last time that he got into a fist fight. Last time he did that was 13. So they had to clarify that real quick. Starlight Homes. Starlight Homes started 2012, 2013. He gave the seed money to start it with the deal. Andreen would run the day-to-day business of running the businesses, and they had blossomed into 3 businesses and had a 4th one on the way. Prosecution time now. Harris, 2017, visited. So a friend of theirs whose name is Harris visited them in 2017, and Katie Harris. And they're saying that while that friend was visiting, that Andre hit Andreen or attacked her in front of them, even knocking over Katie Harris's child that was there. Don't know where I'm getting that from, but Andre says that's a lie. I can recall the whole story for you. I got kicked in the back and I fell over, and the little girl was close by and she got knocked over, right? So the prosecution quickly cut that off, like, no. We're just saying, did something happen when Katie Harris visited? He says yes, but I can recount the whole story for you. They goes, no, that's all right. Them no want to hear the man say him get attacked when our friend did a visit. It wasn't him attacking her in front of her friend that was visiting, so them cut him off. Then the prosecution brought up the other one. He said it didn't go like that. He kept saying it didn't go like that. They asked him about the grabbing of the face part. He grabbed her face when she would not let him out of the vehicle. That's another time that you assaulted her. They brought out a picture. The picture was supposed to show like she had scratches on her face. Me there, I look on the picture of them still. I couldn't see the scratches on the face and stuff. Allegedly, he had attacked her, but he already said. He kept begging and asking her, like, let me out, let me out, let me out. And she kept driving fast. She wouldn't let him out of the car. So in pawing her face, and that got her to stop the car. And that's when he got out of the vehicle. That comment about what you did last year has changed our marriage forever. He said that was in reference to her going to Jamaica, hooking up with Amanda, and coming back with 2 tattoos, which he later discovered were the same 2 tattoos that this man had on himself. His date of birth is right here on his shoulder, and the big A is right here in her neck, chest, centerpiece area part, right? That's all. She came back with the same designed A, because the A is designed a specific way, and the same way how those words are written out. That's what he was talking about. He testified that it was customary. It was customary to leave when they argue. Every time arguments start, he leaves. He jumps in the car, he leaves, because he don't want it to get to a point where it becomes confrontational and then get physical. At this point, I'm looking at the whole thing and I'm saying, so we're at the last page now. At this point, I'm looking at the whole thing and I'm saying they're going to see him as cold, callous, heartless. This is to regular people looking in because of his demeanor, especially when he was describing certain things, like the fight, like her dying, like disposing of her body, like his child left without a parent. None of that evoked any kind of emotions from him. It was just this what happened. Like his daughter, who was nonverbal for the most part, asking suddenly, "Where is mommy?" How she burnt, hit her in the face, in the neck with the hammer, how the hammer got stuck in her neck, all that. His outward demeanor. They asked him about his outward demeanor. You seem so cold and so stuff. No, babe, no, left far. Come, Munchie. Hi, pretty. So the man say hi. Hi. Hey, this my little person. The man never show much emotions when him talk about how the hammer stuck in her neck and the claw part and have to dry it out. Hi, Papa. Hi. Say hi. Hi. All right. I got lips, Daddy. You want me to put some on your lips? Daddy almost finished. You want to take it? Yeah. Go. Tell mommy put some on your lip. All right. We'll finish up. So this part, I'm saying they're going to look, the jury is going to look at him as, I hope they have some military people on the jury who can explain, like, after years of being in the military, you are actually, you got to understand, especially, but Andre was never deployed to no combat zone, so he didn't see the catastrophe. You're right, that no. So you go do your show, babe, and make the audience go over there and hear where you have to say, because I might be biased and this might be man's perspective, but I'm trying my hardest to be balanced, right? But yeah, after a certain time of being in the military, you kind of get real. I don't know. I deployed, and when I came back to the States, I specifically remember I'm driving down the street, and a woman went across the street where there was no crossing, and traffic are flying up right here in my city where I'm at in Florida, and it's a semi, not a semi, a big truck, liquor. And I saw when the truck licked the lady fly up in the air. She dropped on the ground. She had a stroller with her. The stroller flew way across the street. Everybody is out there. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I just automatically flew into action. The first thing I did was I drove down on her body. I put on my flashers, blocked the road so no other vehicles could roll over her, right? And I got out of my vehicle and I started directing traffic around this lady. Me just automatically, because that's what I was doing on deployment. You know what I mean? So I was automatically just went into action. And when I looked down at her, I realized that her leg was bent, broke in a position where all the bones were sticking out and it was just bloody and it just looked away. Her face was face flat like Bummy into the concrete of the road. Somebody said that lady here dead, right? And she had a horrific head injury, Ronessa, head neck injury. But I wasn't like, oh my God. But everybody else, I mean, even people ran down on the scene, and once they saw her, them shot back up that way there. Oh my God. Me even hear people I say, I'm gonna need counseling for this. I've never seen nothing like this in my life. I wasn't panicked in any way like that. That's when I first knew. I was like, okay, I'm definitely different from these people for sure. And I stayed there until EMT came and explained to them what happened. And I went over there and I looked for the stroller and I found the stroller and there wasn't no baby in the stroller. Cause all them people I run around and none of them I say, somebody get the stroller, there's a baby in it. Me, I tell them, say, get the stroller. I'm trying to make sure no other vehicles run over the lady or slam into the back of my vehicle. Nobody is going over there. There's a baby in there. I'm not going over there. I don't want to see no dead baby. I walk over there. I pick up the stroller. I look. The stroller was filled with groceries. She was using the stroller because she lived in the apartments across the highway street in an apartment close to the Walmart. She went grocery shopping with a baby stroller, full it up a grocery, and was going back home and get licked, right? But to see how the people were like all afraid and not whatever. So you might see his demeanor as damn, cold, callous. But I'm telling you, please put every training that that man had into that video because it plays a part. We look like we're cold and callous to people because the stuff that you for, it doesn't us. That's the best way we can explain it. But with that said, yeah, the video with her carrying him around on her back, it just proves that, you know, she more than had the strength. Like if they were gonna fight, and there was a point when they talked about her fighting him, and him saying something about she can't fight me, and she not fight me or something, and he clarified that and said that's not what he said. You know, like he said, look at Andreen. How could I say she can't fight me? She carried me around on her back. You see her lifting weights. You see how she work out. Like she very well could fight me, kind of thing. So Andrew was super strong. She ran around with him on her back like him was lightweight. Did you intentionally cause the death of Andreen? Is the last question up there. And they said no. He said, no, I did not. 9:30, the alarm just went off. Today, they're in now. I'm about to go share the link. I'm going to go over there right now. Me see you later. Bye. They're getting started right now to see the rest. And the judge said he is also expecting closing arguments today. So go on over there, go see that, and we'll be back here tomorrow. God spare our life to finish this up. Manners and respect to each and every one of you. Go ahead, go over there, go see it now. All right? Later. Peace.